morning. In this video I'm going to talk about how I've made my switch from my November front book to my December front book. I'm also going to talk about a few tweaks to my setup. I still use the same system, but I've made a few changes in my monthly booklet, and I'm making some changes in the back book as well. But first, let me just talk a little bit about the switch. This book is now a combination of my October book and my November book. So I know it's still November, so it's November book, but I ran out of pages before November ran out, so I had to retire it. So what I did was I cut it out from my setup and I glued it together with the October book. So this is the final page of my October book and this is the first page of my November book, and now they are one and the same. So this is all finished and archived. So my current setup is now made with the December book. So here the first thing I see when I open the book is my December calendar. But a change that I've made is that on the next spread I also have my January calendar. And the reason for this is that I want to have that at my fingertips. A lot of things that happen in December sort of continue in January in my line of work, so it really helps to have both calendars here, because normally I have my calendar spreads in the back of the back book. So February and so on are over there. But I think this might be a keeper. We'll see how I like it. So the two calendars on the first two spreads, and I've folded in, I always fold in the weekend on this spread, the current spread. But now I also folded in the weekly boxes on the January spread, because the point of that is that I want to be able to see these weekly boxes when I'm on my weeklies and my next action pages. So after the calendar spreads, as usual, I have my weeklies. This is a current weekly and, the rest of December, the rest of the year. And then I have my next action contexts. And I tried for a while to have those in the back book, here after my project pages, but I never looked there. I want the back book to be more of a kind of visionary, big picture section. So having the next actions there just didn't work. So I've moved them back to the monthly booklet. And I have my context: administration, check and search for, contact, office, assess, listen, and creative. Those are for work. Then I have my home, next action contexts: talk to husband, talk to other people, creative planner, and creative other. Planner stuff is there's always a lot I need to do, things I plan to change and tweak. So you can see that I've already filled in a lot of things there. Find, move, gather is one context. Fix, check, and test. Test, it sounds weird, but it often has to do with interior decoration, like test if this thing works. It's just, test things. I often do that. Mobile phone / iPad and computer. errands/print, errands for the village where I live, and errands for the nearest town, and my trackers at the back of the booklet. And I have changed this as well. This is where I keep my memories. And in my previous book, let's see, I wrote my memories on the Dutch door. Like I had my weekly, my brain dump, and then on the next page I had the memories for the same week. But now I don't put my memories here. I put them in the journaling section. So first thing I encounter when I come to the journaling section is my memory keeping page for the first week that I'm using it. So I'm going to fill this in today, something that happened today that I want to remember. And the reason for this change is that I want, well, having, how to explain this? Well, let's take a look at November again, because this is what a week looks like when I'm done with it. Not pretty at all. This, I'm gonna cover this up. But the thing is, having pretty pages in the monthly booklet, sort of, I don't know, it feels, if some of these pages are pretty and I write my memories, it feels like the rest of the booklet just looks even more ugly, because I don't plan in a pretty way. I pretty things up after the fact. So I thought, well, why not put my memories in the journaling section instead, where everything is already pretty, you know? And another thing I was thinking is that when December is done, when I come to week 52, I might not rip this out, as I said in a previous video I was going to do. I might actually glue new paper onto these pages, because what will probably happen at the end of December is that I won't have done all of my next actions. So instead of transferring them to a new booklet that I glue in or sew in or hang from a string, I can just reuse the same booklet by just covering up the weeks that I've used up, and you know, continuing these lists. So yeah, it might even be a permanent sort of fixture that the booklet is the same month after month, and I just glue in a new page on the same. Do you get what I mean? It feels so confusing when I say it out loud, but that way I could actually just cut out the journaling section when I'm done with it and glue a new journaling section onto the existing monthly booklet, and glue new calendar spreads for, you know, the current month. So in February I glue February onto here. I might remove the calendar spreads and archive them somewhere together with my trackers. So maybe I might put an insert where I archive them so that I can look back on what happened before. I don't know yet. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of my thinking right now. Another thing I am trying out, I put tabs at the back of the front book for all my project areas, both at work and at home. So same tabs as in the project section. But the point of these is that, this is falling out, I'm thinking I can journal about each project. I've been trying to journal about my projects in the mornings to sort of get me going, about thinking about them, but it doesn't happen. So I'm thinking if I have tabs that sort of remind me to do it, and I don't know, I have painted pages in the proper project color, I can embellish them, then maybe it's more attractive to actually sit down and have a think. It's kind of, it could be part of my weekly review or daily review. I pick a project, I brainstorm about it, journal about it, maybe how I feel about the project and so on. And maybe if I get ideas while I'm journaling about it, I can put them in the project section here in the back book. So I'm trying that out. And also lots of new ideas. I am planning to perhaps maybe eventually retire the Someday Maybe insert and put all my Someday Maybe lists into the back book, because I have current projects in the back book, but there is room for Someday Maybe lists as well. And I've started filling in this spread. So this is the cleaning tab. So when I open my book to where the tab is for each project, I have current projects on that spread. So current cleaning projects here. And then on the next spread, and then on my next spread, I have my Someday Maybe lists. So I'm using my morning journaling time to transfer again all my Someday Maybe lists into the back book. And I've done cleaning, and I've done paperwork, the paperwork section. And the point of this is that if I remove this middle insert, the book will be a bit thinner. I can still have my strings here and put things like, I don't know, meeting agendas, doctor's appointments, stuff I need to remember. Like instead of a pocket, I can use the strings to keep things there. Maybe other papers as well. I don't know yet, but I would like to have a slightly thinner setup, because this is a lot. And before you ask, of course, my current project pages I will be finished with them before I finish all the Someday Maybe stuff, of course, because that's really long term. But when I'm done with, for example, these projects, I can, similarly to the monthly booklet I was talking about, I can glue in a new piece of paper. Instead of like abandoning this spread, I can just renew it and recycle it by gluing in a fresh white piece of paper. So yeah, I think this is a good idea. It feels like that's my tagline. I think this is a good idea, and then I change everything. But that's the plan anyway. And I think it might be time soon to make a new general setup video just to explain how everything comes together. But I think I need to transfer all the stuff from my Someday Maybe section before I do that, because otherwise it will become irrelevant really soon.